Now, for more on this, we are being joined by Adrian Calmel from New York. He's a fellow at the Arabian Peninsula Institute. Now, thank you so much for taking our time and joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, talks have intensified as sticking points remain. U.S. has said they are close, but what do you think on this?
It's a great question. I really don't think they're close. When we look at this entire ordeal that started on October 7th, this war that was kicked off, as soon as I heard that there were hostages involved, I knew that this was going to be a war of a different nature, mainly because of the whole hostage component. And for the hostages to be released, that was going to be Israel's #1 objective. And that needs to be first and foremost with any type of negotiations. With Hamas, they understand that those hostages are leverage, and that's really the only thing that's keeping them from holding on. They are hanging on by a thread. Not many fighters left. Their upper core echelon's been decimated, and the reroutes, supply lines have been shut down. So this is kind of end days for Hamas, but this is a much wider war that we're looking at.
Now, Israel, by this, of course, we also know that Iran has been suspected of attacking. Now, there's the Lebanon border that's going on, the fighting going on. How is the situation for Israel as of now?
Another great question, and it's really, I think, if Israel military planners, if they were looking at this, I think if they're realistically looking at this and the country's looking at this, they're ready for the next war or the next front, but they really need a pause. They need a break. They need to finish up the Gaza campaign. This campaign in Gaza is unlike any war that Israel has ever fought, which has always been done with lightning quick speed. This is dragged on for 10 months, and that goes with resupplying munitions, Iron Dome, things to ensure the safety of the population. So.
Now, the Philadelphia corridor has become a sticking point. How important do you think that corridor is?
That is critical. Okay, so before October 7th and when October 7th happened, everybody's saying, well, how did that happen? Egypt has always told us that those corridors, those tunnels were all closed, that there's no way that weapons could have gotten in there. Well, in fact, they were getting in there, and they continued to get resupplied during the war. So Israel needs to be able to control that. If Egypt cannot control that border, which they have proven they have not been able to, then Israel needs to be able to control that to make sure that Hamas does not get resupply of weaponry.
Right, and that's interesting because Egyptians are also trying to work out a ceasefire deal.
It is interesting, and I think part of it, and you have to take a look at the Egyptian government. You know, they're culpable in part of this. You have to recognize that they knew that this was going on, that there was smuggling, and there's elements that are making money off this. That's what smuggling's all about. So Egypt, I think, is worried about saving face to a certain degree, and there was a lot of struggle over that Philadelphia border between Israel and Egypt, and a lot of contention because I think Egypt didn't want them to see what was actually there.
All right. That was Adrian Calmel joining us. Thank you so much for joining us and giving your opinions.
Thank you again.